So to judge the likelihood of a 2020 Hillary campaign, we're joined tonight by a man who has served for decades as one of her closest aides, Philippe Reines. Philippe, great to see you tonight.
You too, Tucker.
So I'm assuming what I just said and what we're hearing is true, that if she thought she was the best position to beat Donald Trump, she'd get in the race. She's not.
I would take issue with the Macedonia part, but other than that, she ran for president because she thought she would be the best president. If she still thought that now, if she thought she had the best odds of beating Donald Trump, I think she would think about it long and hard. I know
so she's not. She hasn't foreclosed the possibility. I guess
she has not.
That's what I'm saying. So really, the question, and that doesn't surprise anybody who's followed the Clintons, right? So I guess the question is, has the Democratic Party changed so much in the last 3 years that it would be possible for Hillary Clinton to get the nomination? So in other words, a lot of Democrats say, well, Hillary Clinton is the real president, it was stolen from her or whatever, but at the same time you think maybe they've changed and they don't want her anymore. Maybe she's too right-wing.
Well, look, this is a huge if. But if she were to jump in for whatever reason and the party has moved someplace that she hasn't, then she won't get the votes. That's the point of the primary. There are, I guess, still 19 people. There are a few that are in double digits. If she were to run and people think that she's too left, too right, too center, whatever you want to call it, that's the beauty of it. They get to vote against whoever they want. I don't know. She's not running because she has any anxiety about the Democratic field. She really likes a lot of the people running. She knows them well. She thought about some of them for her vice presidency. But there might be a reason that she'd be the best person not only to beat Donald Trump, but to govern after Donald Trump, which is a part we don't talk about much. And look, you can make fun of it all you want, but 65 million people voted for her, and that's second more to anyone except Barack Obama.
I'm not making fun of her. Actually,
I watch Fox and I get confused who's president.
Hold on, I'm the guy. We don't talk about her very often.
Oh, come on!
But I woke
up it right now.
We are, because I think it's so interesting that Hillary Clinton, who I've always thought was at the leftward edge of the Democratic Party and has been for 50 years. Since her 1969 speech at Wellesley College, has been on the leftward edge of the Democratic Party. She denounced Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All proposal as a terrible conversation to have. She's like completely against it.
The lady knows her health care. I mean, she was ahead of her time in 1994.
Did you get the nomination if you stood up and said it's terrible?
Well, you know what? That's a debate that the party's having right now, that, the candidates that are for Medicare for All are defending how it would be structured, how it would pay for, and the ones who are against are pressing those questions. I mean, if it's a health care debate, I think I would take that and I'd put my money on her any time.
But it's not just health care, actually. So I want to put up on a screen a quote. You tell me who said this. This is from 2015. Kate Steinle, of course, murdered, in the Embarcadero down in San Francisco. Here's Hillary Clinton's response. What should be done is any city should listen to the Department of Homeland Security, which, as I understand it, urge them to deport this man again after he got out of prison another time. Here's a case where we've deported. He ends up back in our country. And I think the city made a mistake. The city made a mistake not to deport someone that the federal government felt strongly should be deported. I have absolutely no support for a city that ignores the strong evidence that should be acted on. Whoa.
But here's the thing.
If that's not racism, I don't know what is.
Look, that's not racism.
Look, it's racism. She wants to deport the guy.
Oh, my God, you're thinking deporting people is racist? I mean,
no, I know for a fact that I personally have been denounced as a racist for using the word deport because he's a Latin American. That's I don't know. You haven't been following your party recently. That's racist, what she just said.
Look, you know that I played Donald Trump in 2016 when she was practicing for a debate. I threw those quotes at her like anything else. I threw Kate Steinle at her. But look, there's a difference between now and then. The man now has a record. He's been there for 3 years. And while Make America Great Again was really the tagline that got the most attention, he said something else in 2016, which was, what do you have to lose? And I think if we now ask ourselves that question, 40% of us are going to say we haven't lost anything, we've gained. 60% of us seem to think that we have lost. And one of those things is immigration, is people's freedom, and one of those things is health care.
So when she says it is not racist, when Trump says it is. Okay, so, but that was a couple years ago.
I think to be pretty clear, anyone who runs against Donald Trump, I don't think it's good. If it's a referendum on racism, I think we're going to have a new president come a year from now.
If you have someone who's calling for explicit racial quotas or people are kept out of jobs in schools because of their skin color, that's racist.
The bottom line here is immigration. And I know you believe that the president's plan on immigration has not worked. It has not gotten anywhere. It is not what you believed it would be.
So let me ask you this. This was just last week.
Yep.
Okay. She and her daughter, Chelsea, hawking yet another book, not rich enough apparently, with the Sunday Times.
It's a book about women through the ages.
Right, okay.
I'll have her send you one.
This is an interview they did with a British publication, the Sunday Times, And they were asked, the journalist Decca Aikenhead asked the Clintons if someone, quote, with a beard and a penis can ever become a woman. To which Chelsea replied emphatically, yes, yes, of course, of course. To which Hillary looked uneasy and then said this, I'm just learning about this, she responded, erasing trans people in the process. It's a very big generational discussion because this is not something I grew up with or ever saw. It's going to take a lot more time and effort to understand what it means to be defining yourself differently. That's transphobia, if there ever was transphobia.
The LGBT community knows where she stands.
What do you think of that?
The first thing she did when she was Secretary of State was she made sure to give passports to people in gay relationships. She made sure that if they had a health problem, that we'd fly them back.
Gay relationships are different from this. Okay, everyone likes to bundle this all together. This is a very specific question about trans orthodoxy, and Hillary Clinton's like, oh, it makes me uncomfortable. That's creepy. You're not allowed to say that, Philippe.
Look, well, then this is the thing. If she were to run, which is unlikely, I mean, if you gave me a choice between betting on her running or betting on Powerball, I'd probably bet on Powerball. But if she were to run, people get to decide. Is she okay?
I hope she does.
I know you do, because there's a cottage industry around her. To some extent, she might as well run.
She's become like the most reasonable person in the Democratic Party. That's scary.
She might be the best person to beat President Pence. I'm sorry, I meant President Trump.
Philippe Reines, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Thank you.